Hello, my name is Sharon, and today I'm going to show you how I made this rich and slightly tangy vanilla bean Basque cheesecake. I topped it with a homemade blueberry compote and blueberry whipped mascarpone topping. The Basque cheesecake has no crust and is effortlessly baked in a parchment paper for easy removal. There's no need to stress about the perfect, no crack top for this cheesecake. Okay, the lesson's starting, so pay attention. I'm starting with a 12-inch by 16-inch parchment sheet, and you can crumble it in your hands first to make it more flexible or put it directly into your cake pan. The cake pan size that I'm using is 6 inches by 3 inches, so it's 6-inch diameter and 3 inches tall. And then I'm going to trim off the extra pieces of parchment paper, but I leave about 1 inch to 1.5 inch above the cake pan for when the cheesecake rises. So this is where it gets kind of crazy. For me though, you'll learn from my mistake. My first mistake is using such a tiny blender. Should have used one that's like 2 to 3 times the size to give the cheesecake batter more space to blend. Listen, I may have a pastry arts degree, but I still make mistakes. The recipe itself is great, no issues. I just love to experiment to make recipes more efficient, but I'm also a little clumsy, which is not a great combo, and you'll see what I mean later. Anywho, in a blender that's going to be bigger than the one that I'm using in the video, add all the cheesecake ingredients into the blender and blend until smooth. I can already see as I'm playing back the video that I thought this was so smart, but my face of realization when I thought, okay, it was not gonna fit and I had to pour some of the ingredients back out. So yeah, use a bigger blender than the one that I'm using in the video, or if you have a stand mixer, that also works. And you can also use a hand mixer. I just think a blender is more likely to guarantee you a smooth batter compared to if you were to use a stand mixer. You could probably get away with using a hand mixer to get a smooth batter, but I do believe that the blender would be the best bet if you can make it fit. And you know what? This is actually a really good example of what you can do if you accidentally use a smaller blender like me and you couldn't get your batter to all fit. There's a lesson to learn in every mistake. If your blender is too small like mine, I recommend blending the cream cheese and the white sugar first for the cheesecake batter, and you can add a little bit of heavy cream to get it going. This is to make sure that all the cream cheese doesn't become clumpy in your batter. A little clumping is okay. And then just mix in the rest of the ingredients in a separate bowl and you're good. Easy peasy fix. Then pour the cheesecake batter into the cake pan that you have lined with parchment paper. Lightly tap the pan to get out air bubbles, and you're gonna bake it until it becomes jiggly like this. Let the cheesecake cool completely. Cover the top of the cake pan with the plate and put it in the fridge until the cheesecake is set and ready for assembly. While you're waiting for the cheesecake to bake though, we can make the blueberry compote, and this is incoming mistake number 2. Always make sure that your bag of blueberries is facing the right way and it's closed, otherwise you'll end up like me. 30-second rule though, am I right? Just kidding. Gotcha, didn't I? I put the blueberries I found on the floor into compost, and thankfully I still had enough to make the blueberry compote for the rest of this video. So for the blueberry compote, while the cheesecake is baking, I put frozen blueberries, you can use fresh too, into a saucepan with the granulated sugar and yuzu juice, or you can use lemon juice. Stir it all together and cook this mixture over medium-low heat, stirring occasionally until the blueberries are reduced by half and the compote thickens. Look at how thick that is. I like to mash it up a little bit with my rubber spatula, but that part is optional. Now let the blueberry compote cool completely before storing it in the fridge in a container. After a few hours or overnight, your cheesecake should be ready for assembly, and you should be able to just peel back the parchment paper. Now we can make the blueberry whipped mascarpone topping. In a bowl, I'm going to mix together the cold mascarpone and cold blueberry compote first. Then I'm going to mix in the heavy cream, powdered sugar, and blueberry extract. If you feel like your compote is sweet enough, you don't have to add the powdered sugar. You can always add that later on as well and taste it as you go. When she's nice and thick like this, she's ready to go on top of the cheesecake. First, you'll take some of the blueberry compote you still have left over and put it on top of the cheesecake and spread it out like this. Optionally, you can also save some of the blueberry compote so we can decorate the top like what I did towards the end, which you'll see after this. Once I've got my blueberry compote layer down, I'm going to put on the blueberry mascarpone topping. Then with a mini offset spatula, I just move the blueberry mascarpone topping around just for a little rustic look. Make it a little cute. Make it look like creamy waves. really doesn't have to look perfect, and I think that's what I really like about this recipe is that it's like imperfect perfect. Like you really can just push the frosting around and it'll still look really good. I'm gonna take some of the blueberry compote I saved and gonna put just dollops around, and it's gonna look like little blueberries. And any opportunity to show off my mini herb garden, I'm gonna take it because I'm really proud of how they came out this year. Usually I do not have a green thumb, so I'm really happy that they're still with me, and I picked a few leaves to see which ones suited the blueberry cheesecake better, and I think I went with the apple mint leaves. And I added some white chocolate daisies that I made for an extra cute look, and oh my god, I love how it came out! And it's so creamy, blueberry, totally yummy. And just as a bonus thing, if you watched this far, I'll sometimes make extra blueberry compote because the frozen blueberry bags that it comes in, it's usually a lot. Or if it's blueberry season, the blueberries are on sale. And I'll make myself a little drink by mixing the blueberry compote with seltzer water and Yakult. And that's it. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Okay, bye. The Basque cheesecake has no crust and is effortless.